your career is like just loaded, fully loaded with legends.
Yeah,
You know, because you also like work with Eddie Murphy too, right? You on
another just great experience working with Eddie, man. And the Eddie story is incredible because when Eddie did, we did the Nutty Professor. When he did the Nutty Professor, he had a few movies that didn't do well. He was doing this, those sequels to Cop, to, Beverly Hills Cop. He had something else.
Excuse me.
Hey!
That's not fair.
Maintenance, I gotta go grease the chain. You hear how dry it sound?
Sorry. Come on, let's go.
Uh, and he was so humble on that set. And I'm not saying he was humble as a result of those movies not doing well, but
right.
he was so happy to have another opportunity. It's almost like, that boxer who has lost the fight and he's eager to get back into the ring and win and get back in there. So he was kind of like that. And I just remember he was just so nice to me on the set, man. We talked and he was telling me that, that the Nutty Professor, he was like, and he was joking around. He's like, man, if this one doesn't hit, I don't know. I think that might be it for me. And I was like, no, Eddie, man, come on, man. And yeah, he was just really, really friendly on that set.
When you're sitting there with Eddie Murphy or Bernie Mac or any of these guys, do you ever like pinch yourself and go, am I like, how did this happen? Like, because it's just so this is just so amazing. So there you are with Eddie Murphy. Did you do a scene with him on that?
Yeah, if you go back and look at the first Nutty Professor, I actually introduced Dave Chappelle, so I got to meet Dave.
Oh,
Chappelle.
you were the one on that stand-up shit.
Yeah, when he comes out, Reggie. Hey, my part was so short. I remember my lines from that movie. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Reggie Warrington.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen him on Def Comedy Jam many times. Y'all give it up for my man, Reggie Warrington. Give it up, give it up.
That was my line in the movie.
Yeah, that was you. I remember.
And then he comes out,
yeah.
And what a nice guy he was, man. He was, bright-eyed. A lot of people don't know. I'm about to write a post on this because it's funny. I just found the picture. I have it that we took together. I took a picture with him, and for a long time it was in my storage. And I was cleaning out my storage today, and I found it. And I always write these things called Doug's Celebrity TBT.
Right.
So I'm about to write one with Dave Chappelle, but so many comedians auditioned. They called in so many comedians for that. But Tom Shadyac, who was the director of that movie, loved Dave Chappelle. He was in love with Dave Chappelle. So funny thing happened. My manager gets me that audition. I don't know what it is. I go in, I meet Tom Shadyac, and I just gotten here from Alabama, nervous, and I remember not doing so well on the audition. And he had a picture up like that of Eddie Murphy in that fat suit, and he said, "You got any good fat jokes?" And I started saying some fat jokes. You're so fat that if we cut you, you bleed. And he actually used a few in the movie. This is one that he used. I said, "You're so fat that if we cut you, you bleed chocolate milk." And he wrote it down. He's like, "Oh, I like that. I like that." So he just started talking to me. He said, "Man, so what's going on?" I told him I had just gotten out here, this and that. And he was like, "You know what? I like you, man. I really like you." And then he didn't say I was getting the part. He just said it. And when I left, though, he said, "Hey, I'll be seeing you." And about 3 weeks went by. I forgot about it. And my manager said, "Hey, I don't know what you did to that director, but he really likes you. He wants you, you got the part." And that's how I got the part. And then I got on and I met Eddie. Jada Pinkett was in that movie, really nice. But real quick, Dave Chappelle, and I'm probably sure he wouldn't mind me saying this because I'm going to say it in the post. He smoked so much weed in his trailer that it was really like that movie Half Baked. When he opened the door to his trailer, smoke would come out. And he was, he offered me, he's like, "Hey, you want to smoke some weed?" And I was like, "No, I don't smoke weed." He was like, "Well, you don't probably want to stay in this trailer too much if you don't smoke weed." So,
wow.
but very professional. It did not, hinder him performing and doing it. He was just smoking weed. It was just a laid back atmosphere. And he was just so friendly, so friendly.
And he was early in his career at that point. I mean, I know he started like 17 or something like that, but he was still must have been young and fairly new and
really young. And he had done a few pilots and he was calling himself Pilot Boy because he would do a pilot and it wouldn't get picked up. He would do a pilot and it would get picked. So he was like, you know, I'm doing all these pilots. But I think that movie had a lot, you know, after he did that movie, things really began to take off for him. I mean, he really nailed that part.
Yeah, that's a whole classic scene. I remember you introducing him. I remember, you know, him heckling Eddie Murphy, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I remember what Chappelle looked like. Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
you know, real skinny and young.
Yeah. He had the little wig with the
Yeah.
thing on him. And yeah.
That was great.